Coming up, we have an interview with Rob Jansen, who is an information security specialist. They're going to be chatting about some of the threats that a business's IT could be exposed to.
This cyber world is the wild, wild west.
Hackers use personal accounts to attack hundreds of new targets.
Every second, every minute of the day, people are using this type of attack.
It gives criminals new openings to steal personal data and intellectual property.
Welcome back. We're now going to go to the interview with Robert Jansen and Jeff talking about information security.
Okay, welcome back, viewers. I'm pleased to say in the studio today I've got Rob Jansen. Nice to meet you again, Rob. Welcome. Rob is an IT specialist and he deals with security testing as part of his role. What are the kind of day-to-day things that you get involved with, Rob?
A number of things, Jeff. It's anything from security testing, also called penetration testing in the security sphere and consulting area. The other side is education and awareness for staff, and technical security training for the network type people and systems people.
I see. Well, if, say for example, looking at security in particular, Rob, if I was say paint a scenario to you that I'm a small business, I've got say 10 to 15 employees, and I've got a little network that's set up on my company, and I'm a consultancy company. What are the kind of issues that I think I've got a firewall on my computers? Am I really secure with all that? Do I need to do anything else?
Sure. The typical scenario you're painting there, Jeff, is a small business. They'll have a firewall, they'll have a little web server that sits that your network guys probably run. In that scenario, and behind that you'll have the corporate network as such, where your end user PCs will be sitting.
Yeah.
So in that scenario, you want to make sure the firewall is configured correctly, which an information security penetration test will confirm. We'll test the web server as well, make sure no unnecessary services are exposed via the firewall on there. But also that the website and the code that the website's actually running on has been developed securely.
I see. So is that going to cost me a lot of money?
If you'd be employing a consultancy, you'll be looking a fair amount of money to do a penetration test, if you're looking for specialists.
Yeah. Is there any way I can do that myself?
I wouldn't recommend doing any security testing yourself. It's a specialist area. You could probably run a few tools, but you wouldn't know the impact of some of the vulnerabilities. A vulnerability on a web server for you will be something completely different to someone who's trained in the arts of hacking.
I see. So what we're saying is, we look at the firewalls on those kind of things, make sure that they're configured correctly,
yes,
and that our people know that they're configured correctly. Which leads me on to some of this terminology that is being thrown about quite a bit now, Rob. And one that tickles me is the one where they say phishing. You know, there's somebody fishing. I always think of fishing like, you know, sat at the side of the river with my rod trying to catch a fish. What's this mean to IT though, the term phishing?
Yeah, so to security itself, phishing is related to phishing emails. A phishing email will be an email sent to a target audience to make them probably click on a link. They'll take them off to a rogue website that the attackers have set up. Now that website might start downloading data to your computer, malware, and that malware could be remotely controlled, so the attackers will take control of your system itself.
Malware, is that malicious? What does that mean? Is that a short new term?
Malicious software.
Malicious software.
Yes.
Why would people do that, Rob? What's the benefits of, say, doing this phishing?
Yeah, you'll have a range of type of attackers. So you'll have the typical what you call a script kiddie, which will be people who are not very skilled in the art of hacking. They'll sit in their bedrooms, script kiddies. As such, they'll sit in their rooms and they'll run tools. Basically, they don't have a lot of skill set. The second level up is more sophisticated type attacks. They'll be trained, what they call black hat hackers. So they'll do it for fun or profit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So criminal gangs might be set up in this kind of space.
Do you mean like get information off me? for what? My bank details, things like
Your
that?
bank details, that ultimately is for someone who's looking for profit, is to get money out of you somehow, some way. Now, if they hack your email account, they'll get access to a wide range of other services that you probably subscribe to. Say, for example, an online shopping network or website. Everything's probably being sent to your email. And if they take control over that, they can probably order things off that website quite quickly, get the password reset, send that to the email account, and then start ordering things to the address they want.
It's quite frightening when you think about it, of the money that could be involved in these scams, because that's what they are, and obviously they could be anywhere.
Yeah, but before we go on, Jeff, there's two other types of attackers that you'd be looking at as well. You've got the hacktivists, who'll be hacking for a cause. So you have the type of attackers who be fighting for a religious cause. For example, they'll be attacking sites. We recently saw something in America with an Islamist hacking group. Again, you see Christian hacking groups, but you also see anonymous who were attacking a number of banks recently, for example. And then you get the government, state-sponsored hackers as well.
I see. So the state, yeah. And there's a lot of rogue states, as we know these days, that I'm sure wouldn't be glad to do those kind of things. In fact, they are doing it. We all know that.
So spear phishing is more of a targeted type attack. Spear phishing emails typically include details very personal to you. So an attacker would conduct what they call an online profiling. So if I wanted to attack you, I'd spend some time online researching where you live. I can probably easily, quite quickly find out where you live. I can very quickly probably find out your date of birth and your mother's maiden name, which could be useful in password recovery type activities that want to hack your email account. I'd quite quickly find out what social networks you're on. And using the likes of Facebook, for example, using their search facility to look at what photos you commented on, what apps you might be using on your phone, who your friends are, and quite quickly build up a picture of you.
Like a profile?
Yes, and what you do. Your wife might be saying, oh, we had a great time here this weekend, and I can use that to target you in that email. I can write a very specific email that feels very personal to you in a very short time space. And I'll send that email to you with a link in it that I'll try to tempt you to click on. And that link itself will take you away to probably a malicious server that I would set up as an attacker.
So we've got those levels of the kind of phisher that we can get out there. So how do I tell my staff? What should I do then to make them aware about this?
Sure. There's a number of ways to raise the alertness and awareness of your staff. I would recommend you set up an awareness program. There's plenty of information online on free information that you get in terms of setting this up. Set up a program, educate your staff via various means and communication channels, get posters printed maybe, send out emails saying type of attacks that might happen and how they can protect themselves in those scenarios.
What about the possibilities of where I've got members of staff who, shall we say, are not very happy and they're, shall we say, taking data and using it themselves for other means? How do I try and stop that from happening?
It's a very tough one to stop. It depends on how your system's set up. Again, it boils down to policy. You got to make sure you have a very strict policy. However, if you have people who want to steal the data, they will obviously not look at the policy or care about it. And a number of means they can take that data: USB drives, they can send it via email, and other types of storage media. Like they can burn a CD maybe at work to steal that data as well.
So it's clear then that we must have, first and foremost, clear security protocols and procedures, and making it very clear that if anybody is found doing this, that not only will they get sacked, but they'll also be reported to the police as well for theft, because that's what it is, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yes.
It is. Well, that's great then, Rob. Now, thanks very much indeed for explaining that for myself and the viewers. Later on through the series that we're doing with Rob, we're going to be talking about cloud computing, as this has got a lot of security issues that we want to look in, and Rob's going to give us some more advice further down the line. So thanks very much for that for today, Rob, and I'll pass it back to now you, Rebecca, and see you later.
Well, Rhys, I don't know about you, but I actually find that quite scary because I know personally I have received emails where thankfully I haven't actually clicked on them yet, but it's so easy how people can actually attack your account now.
So many do. I was talking to 3CI's director of IT recently, and he said over 30% is the estimated figure of people who actually fall for these scams. So sometimes with catastrophic repercussions.
Yeah, and that could be 30% of your business that actually are allowing people to constantly get into your networks. I mean, for me it covers readiness. Education is something that I think keeps coming up throughout the programme, and remodel, it seems to cover that R as well, because you have to be able to have these plans and these firewalls and your IT selection actually set up so that it doesn't happen to your business.
And it's clear from the programme today, Rebecca, that we've only scratched the surface of these information security issues, and there's a whole raft of other things that Rob can talk about and others in the future to help protect businesses and individuals from any potential threats.
Exactly, and I think that's something that's going to be coming up in future programmes. And now some more information about CMTV and how you can become involved.